was there in the series, but you forgot to put it in the film until that point.
Yeah, that's like I've seen
ERB, the movie.
There's like so many elements he left out that made the series good.
Yeah. Do you know what like the thing is? Like when you see, like you automatically expect a lot to be lost in a film version.
Right.
But the problem with Shyamalan did is he tried to put everything in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are you doing? You know it's a film. You know we can only have a limited time. You can't put everything in there. Nothing will make sense, right? Yeah. Now you're pushing you put the entire season 1, which is 20 episodes.
Yeah.
20, and that's like 10 hours worth of storyline put into an hour and a half.
And it's not just 20 hours of storyline. It is 20 individual hours of a beginning, middle, and end to an individual storyline with its own individual thematic elements and how that ties into the greater overarching story. But the thing is, because you have it in that 1 hour, it fits in nicely within that 20-hour slot. And you don't need it throughout. You see little hints of it now and again, but as soon as you focus one episode on it, you can go on. But when you try to do that in a film and try to input 5 minutes,
yeah,
it will not work because it's a completely different medium.
Yeah.
It also doesn't help that every element of it seems like he never watched an episode of the show, which is the biggest problem, because how can you not... Like, you basically have your source material on DVD for you.
Yeah.
You can go to any store and get it.
And it's not even that long. 60 episodes.
Don't they do that with
20 minutes for each?
That has other problems. And that's for another rant,
Oh, and
which we'll
Resident
definitely
Evil.
do.
Literally, it would
Resident
take
Evil's a
him-
different story, but we'll talk about that later.
It's 30 hours of footage to watch all 3 seasons.
And
30 hours. Cannot take 30 hours out of your time just to watch the
And
series.
well, that
It's
makes
Considering how long it takes you to read Lord of the Rings, which we will get to later,
But
honestly, you can.
he doesn't have to watch all of it. He can just watch like a couple episodes
Well,
and
it
get
just
most
shows
of
how
it.
much time
Yeah,
he
like
spends
you
with
even
his
need to
kids.
watch the filler episodes like Nightmares and Daydreams and whatnot. Like
Yeah.
you
Right.
can skip those episodes and he
Well,
got the normal ones, that's fine.
At the same time as that, though, there's a reviewer. I'll post the link will be attached to this video. Just look for it below. SF Debris does a lot of very good reviews and gives a very fair interpretation, in my opinion. But he recently put up a review for the entire first book, Water, and he's actually going to go through the first Avatar series over the course of this summer. And he essentially did the entire review in over 3 parts. He talked briefly about each episode, the thematic elements in it, the sort of plot development and how it ties in. And it worked. He abridged a lot of stuff, but you can actually get the entire storyline and all of the important points into an hour and a half. And it can make sense.
It's not impossible, but for some reason he's like, he can't do it.
Because Shyamalan isn't actually a good director. He's a good trailer maker, but he's not actually a good director.
Trailer was great.
Though I do like to say I did like Unbreakable and The Sixth Sense, but that's about it. Every other movie since then is
As soon as he
crap.
moved away from Bruce Willis, I don't know what it was about him. Like, he looked at the script and just slapped him once and said, "No, I'm Bruce Willis, I'm not doing this."
Well, that's the problem when you have a writer and director being the same person. You basically lose, it's been said before, but you basically lose your editor at that point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This has been a problem with a lot of movies, the biggest one obviously being the Street Fighter movie, because that's what happened with Street Fighter.
Oh,
No,
good lord.
what movie? It doesn't exist.
Unfortunately,
No,
it does.
there can't be one. When
But
Big
you know
Guy doesn't have a mask and he gets burned a little bit and he doesn't freak out about it.
They say you should only
He just gets a little
pick
pissed.
2 out of the 3 things. Either write and direct it, or write and act it, or direct and act. You can't do all 3 because then you lose too much creative leeway, right?
Right.
In Lady in the Water, and this is kind of it's off topic but on topic, which is an unlike Shyamalan movie. He acts in it, he writes it, and he directs it.
He makes a cameo in all of his movies. I think that's...
Well, there's a difference.
He stopped it.
No,
He
there's a
wasn't
difference
an Avatar.
between the thing.
I could have sworn he was.
He wasn't. I looked it up.
Oh,
He was
okay.
not. He actually wasn't an Avatar.
The thing is, you can put yourself on a cameo and still remove yourself from the acting component of the film. And you see other people that do it very successfully. However, M. Night Shyamalan simply does not have the chops to do it.
No, it's been quite proven that he does it, especially with this movie.
And even with simpler films, that film Devil that came out, that was a very bad film in many ways.
And he wants that to be a trilogy.
which cannot
I
function.
think he wanted Avatar to be
Actually, I think you're actually making Avatar too.
Is he actually? How did he get the rights to that? That's what I don't understand.
I don't
No,
know.
once you get the rights the first time, you've got them for...
Once you get a contract going, that's the kind of what happened with Spider-Man. Like, it doesn't matter who's doing it. That Sony, I think it's Sony who has the rights to it.
It is.
So they're just they got. they're
Okay,
doing
well,
next to
the
it.
next question is, how did he get funding?
Because it draws a crowd. Avatar did bring in money.
Yeah.
People did go to see it, and a lot of younger children still enjoyed watching that film.
They'll say
But
it's
that-
like a different story. They'll say it's a parallel universe.
But it's exactly the same story, there's no difference.
Yeah.
Spell it with a U. Universe.
Oh, there is that when he goes to the air temple and it completely changes around when he visits the second air temple, I think.
And
Yeah.
everything changed.
Yeah,
When
but
the
the other
fire-
thing is that a lot of what made Avatar good is that later episodes were referenced the earlier ones. When I was talking about Gyatso, the reason why he was older and the reason why that was important was this amazing revelation that he was friends when Avatar Roku was training
Yes,
to be
yeah.
an Airbender, which was a huge theme because that meant that
Friendship.
it was even said friendship exceeds like
Lifetime.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some friendships and close relationships last more than just
Yeah,
one
but if you
lifetime.
do it when he's 30,
Yeah.
then he never could have met Roku except maybe when he was a child, and therefore
Yeah.
you lose that theme element entirely.
Yeah.
And then, and
Exactly.
the reason why the firebending also didn't work, whether fire's everywhere or not, was the theme with fire that you had that revelation in book 3 was that fire is like when Aang
It's an
first
element
held-
of life.
It's
yeah,
like,
when Aang held fire for the first time, a consistent flame, it felt like a heartbeat.
Mhm.
Which is, that's like the spark that we have, because that even kind of goes into biology where we give off more electricity than like a battery, for example.
Mhm.
Our own bioenergy,
Yeah.
yes. And it works off of a molecular level of combustion, actually.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of thematic elements. Now,
But that's what made the series good. He took that out,
He did.
and then it
What
kind
are
of
you
really...
doing?
It's like,
He
what are
did.
you doing?
But not only that, it was like, it was too slow. And I don't mind slow movies. Like, I love them if
Oh.
they're done well. But it was too slow
Yes.
for the pace of the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was
Right.
so much. It was so much happening, so fast. But the movie's still going so slow, and that really threw me off. I'm just like,
exactly, you have
Yeah.
all of the revelations and thematic conclusions in these small snippets, and that feels like it's going very quickly,
So-
but the actual movie itself is progressing very slowly.
Yeah.
And it
The-
creates this huge disjunct.
The
I
movie is slower than watching the entire first season.
yes.
That you could get through the entire
Yeah.
first season, go through the 10 hours, and feel really good,
Yeah.
and that you felt like
Well,
a breeze.
It's
and
only
then watching
3
the
a.m.
movie.
Well,
Yeah.
here's
I've done
the,
this so many times.
Here's the thing. Anytime you're making an adaptation, if you're the one that's making it, you need to be a good critic. This is the difference between someone like Peter Jackson and M. Night Shyamalan. Shyamalan, when he's left to his own projects, he has some good ideas, and he used to be able to put some things together well. And Devil, I will admit, had some elements to it which were fairly redeeming. Never got to the point of a good film, but they were fairly redeeming. The thing is, when you do an adaptation, you need to be a good critic. Jackson is a very good critic. He's able to disassemble exactly what he's working on, take out the main thematic elements, change them in a subtle enough way to make it his own, but also hold true to the source material and move on. Shyamalan's proven time and time again that he cannot do that.
Well, actually, once we do a few more movies, I think we'll actually notice, and I've noticed this with many movies, but that's actually been a running theme with bad adaptations and just bad movies in general. As I mentioned, the Street Fighter movie, that's exactly what... That had bigger problems, but that was one of the things. The first-time director that they got also... Well, it was the writer, but he said he wanted to direct, too. And when you don't realize, like, only really big-name directors, and the reason why they're big-name directors is because they're able to do that and write it. Big-name directors I'm talking about, like Alfred Hitchcock,
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg, Quentin Tarantino.
Actually, when you take a look at their take and their reviews on various things, they offer some very interesting insights, and because they have an understanding of the craft, and they're able to disassemble it. But the thing is, there's so many directors out there that cannot do that. Michael Bay, to his credit, doesn't try to be.
No,
And that's why he's been successful.
but he has different problems.
Yeah.
Like, not every problem, not every bad movie stems from that problem, but a lot of them do. That is a very big running theme.
Right. That's our rant on it. The Avatar film. It was a terrible thing. Don't check it out. Just save it.
Watch the trailer, and then tell yourself that's the only thing that exists. Like
Just
me.
watch the old series, watch the new series, because that's really good.
Yeah,
Legend of
we'll
Korra
get-
is good, and we will be once the first season of the Legend of Korra ends, we will actually be doing a review of the entire first season of that,
yeah.
and we will go rather in depth on that. That might actually be a 3-part. But until then, I'm Das Hack,
I'm Sam.
I'm Maya.
I'm Vernon.
and we will see you when we see you.